I said that my back was bothering me. And he says, well, I'm really good at back rubs.
Hey everybody, it's Danny Starnes with the Lake Association. I got part 2 of Sally Winter's story, so stay tuned. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Well, Sally, last time we talked, about the only thing we didn't talk about with Cypress Gardens was doubles.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that go? Do you have a regular partner, or did they just send you out with whoever's up next?
Well, the doubles girls had regular partners. There was doubles where the guy hung on to the handle and did slalom doubles where he'd cut back and forth with a girl sitting on his shoulders, and they could do laybacks and stuff like that. But then we graduated to strap doubles, which is more like the adagio doubles of ice skating. A lot of crossover between ice skating and water skiers. And I'm 5'5", so I was not a doubles girl. I was too big to be a doubles girl, but that was pretty much all I wanted to do.
Really?
So, yeah, I might be known for swivel and barefooting, but doubles, that's what I wanted to do. And I was actually told by the boss in an evaluation, don't worry about doubles, just concentrate on swivel. And it just crushed me. And he told Booty, who was the smallest girl, don't worry about swivel, just concentrate on doubles. And
that was based just because of your size?
she's shorter than, she's like less than 100 pounds and shorter than 5 feet. And I was 5'5" and struggled to stay under 120, basically. So I was not doubles material, essentially. So, but I eventually got to be one of the best. I got the award for doubles.
Really?
Yeah, for 2 years in a row. But it was funny, after that evaluation, Booty came down and she was all, I said, what happened? Didn't you get the raise? Yeah, I got the raise. I said, well, what's the matter? Well, Nova said, don't worry about swivel, just concentrate on doubles. And I told her what he had said to me. And I have this picture of Booty and I going out for finale about 2 months later. And she's going out as star ballerina and I'm going out as star doubles.
Really?
And it wasn't too long after that Ski One was star ballerina and doubles. You did star ballerina and then you did star doubles with the male that did the Ski One, which was the back barefoot on the guy's side.
When you did the doubles, it was you and the same person?
Well, the little girls all got partners, and I kind of had to take whoever I got. There was an act that was double doubles, so
Double doubles?
yeah, two guys and two girls.
Gotcha.
On straps, and so you did get practice at it, but I didn't really have an assigned partner. I did have one assigned partner, I guess, because we were dating. And, when it came time to practice, he would vanish. You know, the guys didn't really want to. There were very few guys that wanted to practice doubles. You know, that was, they were there to jump and barefoot and.
I got you. I got you. So you won an award for doubles, and then you told me a pretty amazing story about barefooting. So about how it was frowned upon, or that females
Yeah.
weren't supposed
Well,
to.
in the beginning, yeah, the show director knew we were barefooting because we would come in at like 6 a.m. We being Rob and Lisa Emery and myself and sometimes Ron Scarpa and some other people. But we would come in before we clocked in and go out and barefoot in the early morning when the lake was glass and barefooting was easy. But yeah, I guess the order from the front office came down that I think it was a workman's comp concern that we were only supposed to practice what we did in the show.
Females only, right?
Which was not barefooting. The girls didn't barefoot.
So the guys could go out and practice barefooting.
Oh yeah,
but the females couldn't.
we did.
Right, you did anyway, right?
Yeah, and after we started, and we were supported. They sent us to tournaments, and we were supported that way. You know, it was all expense paid. We were even paid for skiing that day. Even though we were away from the gardens, we were paid for that day.
You know, when I was...
We started bringing home, barefooting trophies, regionals and state and regionals and nationals.
When I believe I was at your home, or maybe it's one of the pictures you sent me, but there's a little trophy. Kind of a large trophy.
A bowl, you mean?
It looks kind of like a bowl.
Yeah, that's 82 nationals.
Sally, it's time for some serious footing. A one-ski turnaround, then step off on one foot. This is the day you said you'd master it. And she tries, till she's aching and exhausted and simply can't try again. Then she'll try one more time. A champ. You beat it. Master it. Practice it for months, over and over, till you perfect it. Then go for it. The sport's becoming yours, and there are championships to go out and win. First the regionals, then nationals, and the world title. Here's where you find out if all the work pays off.
Division.
So you were the best female barefooter
In the nation.
in the nation.
Well,
That's quite an accomplishment. I mean, when we talk about winding up at Cypress Gardens with parents not eager to get you there, and then mastering the swivel ski and becoming star performer, and now you've the greatest barefoot female water skier in the nation.
No.
No?
No. Well,
There's a big bowl at your house that says
yeah,
different.
there is a big bowl, and there's a lot of politics. There was a little girl that we taught to do a backbeat named Lori Powell, and she just
I've heard that name. I've
yeah,
heard Lori
she
Powell.
she made the. They selected her after the '81 Nationals to be on the world team, and she didn't even compete in '82.
Really?
Yeah, and I was raring to go. I was ready to face off with Lori, and you know, it's not Lori's fault, you know, but it's just politics. It was politics. It was probably shouldn't even mention it, but
You had said that companies, chewing gum,
yeah,
soda, they would come recruit talent
yeah,
at the gardens.
yeah.
So that had to be an interesting time because you're I'm assuming you're auditioning for commercials. Was it
Yeah.
daily or weekly or?
Well, we had the garden sponsors the Johnson Motors and some different boat companies, whichever boats companies gave us boats that year. We and Johnson Motors did a catalog every year, so that was kind of in house or you got paid, but it wasn't like a national commercial like the Wrigley's commercial you're referring to, or we did a Barrelhead root beer commercial where we did a pyramid on barrels.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Virginia Slims. Yeah, I can't remember.
But I mean, I guess they would, Cypress Gardens would send out like a casting call or, hey,
Yeah, there would be a
Virginia
casting.
Slims is coming this
we would
week.
go up to photo and cast for different commercials. Yeah.
Gotcha. So did you get into any commercials?
Yeah, I got in a few. Fava shoes.
Favorite shoes?
All you saw was my feet.
Like with the shoe commercials,
The Virginia Slims commercials, a bunch of us girls, and the Barrelhead root beer commercial.
So
I didn't get the Wrigley commercial.
so the commercials they were basing that off. We can go to Cypress Gardens. We're going to get young, attractive actors. I mean, it wasn't so much based around the skiing.
Some of them were based around skiing or just boating in general. A lot of boat companies. I did work for O'Day and Cobia and different in conjunction with Johnson Motors a lot of the times. Went to the Outer Banks and did shot. I think that was. I'm trying to think. I think that was Cobia, but I forget. I met actually the president of the company and stayed at his house and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
I bet that was nice.
That was nice.
So how did all of that turn into you getting into a movie? I mean,
there's a scene in the movie where Barbara Carrera, the villainess.
so she was the bad girl in
Yeah.
007. Which movie? 007?
Never Say Never
Never
Again.
Say Never, 007. She was the villain.
Yes, she was the bad. I played the bad girl, Fatima Blush. And
Phantom of Blush.
yes, she did a scene where she skied. He was on the gazebo on the shore getting a drink, and she, well, it's funny because the continuity lady was all upset because my red suede suit was darker than Barbara Carrera's because she wouldn't get wet, and I was wet for sure. And
She wouldn't get wet, meaning she didn't ski at all?
no, she did a very good imitation of skiing. She was in an Achilles rubber raft with a guy driving it who was like she was sitting on his hand essentially, and there was a tow rope from the front of the boat, and she actually did a very good job imitating a swivel skier. But the thing about it is if you watch the movie, if you're not a skier, you won't even notice it. But I start off on a slalom ski I start off on a swivel ski on my right foot, and then all of a sudden I'm on a slalom ski on my left foot, and I land on a pair of jumpers.
Really?
Yeah. So, that's not continuity, if you're a skier, but whoever watched that movie, 99% of the people have, until now, if they see this,
Right, right.
they won't think twice about it.
If you're doubling in the movie,
Yeah,
you're getting to spend time around some pretty famous people.
yeah.
How was Sean Connery? I mean, that would be
When I
a
was
bunch of people's
skiing,
dreams just to meet
yeah,
Sean Connery.
I did meet him. I did get to meet him. But when I was skiing, his double was sitting in his place.
I got you. I got you.
So I didn't get to meet him then, but I did get to meet him. And my uncle Bob, my mother's brother, was in Thunderball. He was a para-scuba diver for the Navy.
And Thunderball?
In Thunderball. He was Sean Connery's stunt double. And he was a para-scuba diver in the Navy. And he did the para-scuba diving and was the stunt double for Sean Connery in Thunderball.
Oh, well, so
when
Sean
I met
Connery.
Sean Connery,
Oh, wow.
I had this whole spiel ready to tell him that, this is the second generation of my family in not just 007 movies, but Sean Connery 007 movies. And, isn't that fantastic? Whatever. I met him, and, I couldn't form words. Man, I was like,
Starstruck.
stuttered. And he was very gracious, and I'm sure quite used to people not being able to speak in his presence. And, but I do regret that I didn't get to tell him that,
I got you. So since you're Barbara Carrera's double,
right.
do you spend time with her? Or
I met her, yes.
was she good to be around, or was she? I mean, were y'all friendly?
She was quite tall, quite a bit taller than me. About the only thing we had in common was the long brown hair, and I didn't really look like her. But you didn't. The only shot where you see my face is on the slalom, and it's far enough away you can't really tell it's me. But I did meet the girl that was her stunt double for the scuba diving.
Okay.
And it was like looking in a mirror.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, whoa.
No kidding.
There's my double.
Wow. I'm going to have to rewatch that movie because I remember the skiing. I didn't remember the
Well, it's a short clip. It's not very
the
long.
scuba diving, and that's insane. So, how do you wind up meeting King Hussein?
Oh, every year, the Gardens, he was an avid skier. And his very good friend Simone Curry was the show director at the Gardens for a lot of years before I got there. And every year they got a troop of skiers from the Gardens to go to Jordan and ski for his birthday, which was in November. So I got selected to go on that road show.
Really?
And yeah, went to Amman. We flew into Amman, and then do you want to hear about the driving across the desert thing?
I would love to. I'd love to hear it all. You're how old when you meet King?
Oh, 78. I was 23.
23 years old,
Yeah,
and you're going to
Jordan.
Jordan to do a show for the King. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So I would say you were probably at the top of your game.
Yeah, I was getting there. Yeah.
So you're spending time with him. Are you guys staying at like a palace or?
Well, we stayed at Simone Curry's house in Amman, and then we drove to Aqaba. And some of the skiers stayed in the palace, the summer palace, which was right on the beach there in Aqaba. The rest of us peons stayed in the the hotel, which was brand new right then. But
So you said there was a story about driving across the desert.
oh yeah, when we flew into Amman, which is the story in itself, because we're on the Jordanian Airlines, and we fly in and land, and we're looking out the windows of the airplane, and all these jeeps full of men with, you know, big guns, machine guns and stuff, you know, charge the plane.
Really?
And we're going, you know, oh! But they were there to protect us, okay? You know, this is Jordan, you know, in the Middle East, you know, so that's normal there, I guess. But we were His Majesty's people, and they were there to protect us and collect us and deliver us to.
Wow. Wow.
So then we stayed at Simone's house, and then we went to Aqaba, which is like a 5-hour drive, I think. It was 5 hours, 4 or 5 hour drive. So we don't really know much about what's going on other than go where they tell us, do what they tell us. So these limos line up, and we get in the limos, and the limos are full of drinks, you know, sodas and beer and snacks and what have you, okay? So we're in there, you know, what the hell, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
And about an hour into the drive, we're like, rest stop.
Yeah.
We need to go to the bathroom. And the driver's going, no stop. You know, he didn't speak a lot of English. And we need to stop. No stop. You know, so he has orders not to stop. You know, deliver these people to Aqaba. Do not stop. Well, we had to go. So we finally got him to stop the limo. And we get out, and Betty and I are on one side of the car, and I think it was Mark is on the other side of the car. And we're doing our thing. And I'm looking out, and it's just sand. It's just nothing but sand for as far as the eye can see. And you see this little piece of sand lift up. And there's people under there looking out. at you. And we all of a sudden realize this is why, no stop, because they attack,
So they're
they live under like a piece of sheet metal in the desert
just in a hole.
with sand, in a hole with sand on top of it, yeah. And,
And they rob
people
on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we jumped back in the limousine and had nothing to drink the rest of the way.
Of course not. Yeah. Of course not.
Yeah.
So
And tell us this stuff before.
so you meet, is that when you meet the king?
Yes. Yeah.
You meet the king. How does that go? I mean, is that... I know y'all became friends. Was that like an instant?
Well, the day before the show, we were down at the palace practicing doubles and stuff like that. And that's when we met HM. And I think it was that day. I'm not sure. It's a long time ago. But so he says he wants to ski. So I think it was Betty and I forget who else was in his boat, but his driver, and we're in the Gulf of Aqaba, and there's buoys that mark the line between Jordan and Israel, and on the other side of the buoys are these huge gunboats. And
Israeli gunboats.
yes.
Okay.
And he apparently has done this before with unsuspecting Cypress Gardens water skiers. But so he has his driver take him, and as he approaches the marker, these gunboats start coming towards us. And the guy pulls him around the marker. So we've gone into Israel territory. And he's waving and like he's skiing in the show at Cypress Gardens and laughing. And we're freaking out,
I can imagine.
And these gunboats are charging across the water and he's waving at them,
I can imagine. Wow.
So, yeah, the joke was on us,
So y'all became friends.
Well, we had it was a party. It was like a birthday party before the ski show, I think. And we had been practicing, and I met him, and we even had gone to a smoking room because he wasn't, I guess his wife didn't allow him to smoke in the palace. I don't know. But we went and had a smoke, and we came back, and we were talking, and I said that my back was bothering me. And he says, well, I'm really good at back rubs. You want a back rub? Well, what do you say?
Right.
But a king offers you a back rub. So I drop to the floor. I lay on the floor. He starts giving me a back rub. Jurgen comes over and takes a picture of it. It's just all so crazy. I mean, he's just like a regular guy. He's the king of a country, and he's just so down to earth and regular.
Wow.
And,
Did y'all get to see each other after that, or after that
when
experience? He
would come to the gardens, yeah.
He would come to the gardens and visit.
Yeah. Yeah, we do a special show for him.
Did he ever get to compete, or I don't want to say compete? Did he ever get to ride at the gardens with the gardens boats and things?
I'm sure he did, but never when I was there. He would be in the audience somewhere.
My son...
You would know he was there, but you didn't know where he was, basically, I guess for security.
My son, he used to compete at wakeboarding, and his big complaint was always about a boat driver, you know, because everybody thinks they can drive a boat, everybody thinks they can tow, but it takes. And I've read stories and watched videos about those drivers and how precise they were. And
that is the worst part when you're a professional water skier and you quit being a professional water skier. That's what you miss the most. It's professional boat drivers. Mm-hmm. Those guys are just so good and saved me so many times. You know, they're watching you in their rearview mirror the whole time. And if you know, doing your thing, you get a little stretched out, they back off just enough so you can collect it back. You know, I mean, yeah, they save you. They've saved the skiers.
Well, I know he's told me, can you bump the speed 1/10 of a mile an hour? Can you, you know, and nowadays with the digital dashes and cruise control and satellites, it's easy. But I've seen drivers that
It's a feel.
They won't even turn it on. They won't even turn on the satellite. They just do it by feel, and it's truly amazing. I mean, there's a skill set that not many people have.
Yeah.
Help YouTube's algorithms get this information out. Click that subscribe button, hit that little bell button, and you'll be notified every time we release a video. God bless. Y'all have a great day. Thank you to our sponsors.
Join us. NeelyHenryLake.org